All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Working Smarter, Better Project Specs with SpecHUB webinar. I'm your host, Greg Jackman. Today's webinar is the next installment in our series of webinars geared specifically for you guys, our engineers, architect, and specifier customers. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into SpecHUB, which is our brand new project specification tool. We're going to walk through some examples step by step of how to create a project or a spec in the tool. And we're hoping that today's webinar is good timing for you guys in the sense that, construction projects are starting back up. A lot of you are probably still working from home, working with your specifications. So after this webinar, our hope is that you're able to get in the tool, play around with it, get comfortable with it, and really understand how it could help you make the whole specification process easier for you. So Rebecca, next slide. Just to give you a quick background on our webinar series, we hold several webinars throughout the year that cover a variety of topics. The presenters are always our in-house technology and product experts. And so for today's webinar, you have myself and Rebecca Perullo she's from Allied Technical Solutions. Rebecca is the Director of Customer Experience at ATS. She works with specifiers and manufacturers to connect specifier needs with products available in the market. Over the past 12 years, she's connected with stakeholders in the construction industry, which has given her a really strong understanding of the importance of specifications. And as far as myself, my role here in the marketing communications department at Watts, I'm the specification program specialist. So I oversee the development, the execution, and the measurement of all of our Watts specification programs and tools designed to support you guys, our engineer and design community. Next slide. Just a quick housekeeping item here before we get started. During the duration of today's presentation, you guys will be on mute, but we encourage you to submit questions via the chat window. Just hover over the chat icon at the bottom of the WebEx, type in your question there. And we do want to keep this session as interactive as possible. So we'll be addressing your questions as they come through, as Rebecca's walking through the sample projects. At the end, we may open up the phone lines depending on the size of the group here. Because we just want to have, sort of conversation, really make this webinar customized to you as much as possible. Sort of like a workshop type environment. So hopefully that'll work well. Next slide. So also for this webinar, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We want to give you guys some prizes from our WattsWorks store. All of our Watts lifestyle merchandise is available in the store here. So if you meet the following criteria, you can win the prizes. 1, attend the webinar. You guys have already done that. You check that off. Congratulations. So next step would be to sign up for SpecHUB and then create a project or a spec in the tool through July 2nd. So that gives you about a week to really get comfortable with the tool and create that project or spec. And then you can win a prize. We'll send you a follow-up email the following Monday after you do that project or spec. You'll be able to choose the prize from there, provide your physical address so we can send the prize to you. And we have, plethora of prizes. There's wireless earbuds, wireless keyboard, a lot of techie stuff. There's also things like a portable tailgate cooler, golf stuff. Whatever you like. So keep that in mind as we move forward here. Next slide, Rebecca. Just to go over some key points on how SpecHUB can help you with your day-to-day activities. The tool is designed to ensure that your design team has the most accurate and complete product information for simple projects or complex projects. We want to be able to help you keep your team on track and help reduce any unforeseen issues that can cause delays. So one of the most significant benefits of the SpecHUB tool is its speed, and it's going to give you the ability to quickly select and specify Watts products according to building requirement and codes. It's going to save you time researching Watts products online, as it already has access to all that product data within the tool itself, and also save you time writing your specs, plumbing schedules, and gathering BIM files, because after you're done with your project or spec, the tool is going to generate it'll automatically generate all those documents for you to download and choose and share with your colleagues pretty easily. All the project information, all the product selections that you made. Next slide. So like I was saying before, we want to make this webinar as interactive as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a few quick poll questions right up front so we can really customize the examples that Rebecca walks through to projects you're actually working on or will be working on in the near future. So the first poll here I'm going to pop up. Which of the following products are you required to specify in your current or upcoming project? So you should see the choices there on the right. We have roof drains, flood drains, pressure reducing valves, digital mixing valves, a couple backflow options there, double check valve assemblies, and reduced pressure zone assemblies, and finally water quality. So it looks like you guys are putting in your answers now. And Rebecca, I'll share these results with you in a few seconds. Seems to be an even results here. All right, I'm going to close the poll. Rebecca, can you see those results on your screen? So Rebecca, you should be able to see those results, but it looks like we moved it to the second poll question here now, so I'm going to pop that up. Second poll question, is this a renovation or new construction? Okay, the poll is open. You guys want to answer that one? Like we have a lot of new construction more than renovations. 14 people saying new construction, 7 saying renovations. Definitely more new construction. So I'll close this poll out now. And we'll move on to our third poll, third and final poll. Rebecca, if you want to advance the slide, and I'll open up the poll as well. If it's a new construction, if you answered new construction, what kind of building is it? So we have retail, education, healthcare, office building, hospitality, and residential. Evenly balanced crowd, it looks like. A little bit more healthcare buildings being worked on. I will close this poll in a few seconds, and Rebecca can see the results, but it looks like mostly healthcare and residential. The poll is closed, and you should see those results. So just looking at the results here, it looks like a lot of you guys are working on healthcare and residential projects with pressure reducing valves and backflow reduced pressure zone assemblies, and a lot of new construction going on. So, Rebecca, from those results, are you able to start walking us through some samples?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining. Hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yes.
So we'll start off with how do you find SpecHUB and how do you complete, I think, part 2 of winning some of those great prizes. So when you are on the WATS website, you're going to want to go under resources and under specification and design, you'll see SpecHUB, or you can visit watts.com/SpecHUB. You'll get some direction on how to use the tool. We also have some videos at the bottom on how to get started. What you want to do is click Launch SpecHUB. And in order to finish up that part 2, you'll have to click Sign Up and sign up for a free account. If you already have an account, then you can simply click Login and put in your email address and your password, or click Forget Password if you know you have an account, but you just can't remember what it is. For the sake of this presentation, I'm already logged in, and when you log in, this is what your dashboard will look like. If you're logging in for the first time, don't be surprised that your project list and your spec list here at the bottom is going to be blank, and that's because you've never created a project and you've never created a spec through SpecHUB. But we'll change that really quickly. So I think, Greg, if I remember the polls, there was a little bit of renovation work. And typically when you're on SpecHUB and you're looking to find maybe a couple of products that you might need for a renovation, what most users would typically do is click Create New Spec, because you really only need 1 or 2 items. And you'll be given a page to just give this renovation job a title or a name. And I'm just going to just call this floor drain replacement. And I'll go ahead and click Finish. And then what you'll get access to is essentially the library of product offerings from Watts. And you'll be able to see all of them are laid out in different product categories. And you can either kind of browse through them, either scrolling down or maybe looking for a specific subdivision from CSI. I like to use this quick search function and click on category, and I know I need a floor drain, so I'm just going to start to type floor, and then I can see automatically I can get a list of floor sinks or floor drains. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose floor drain. And then on the left hand side, I'm going to be given some filters that really help me navigate through the 232 different types of floor drains that are available from all of the Watts family, so Watts, Blucher, and Orion. I'm going to go ahead and choose an application. I know that I want this for a finished area in my building. I also know from a material standpoint, I just need cast iron. And you can see I'm slowly updating all of the drains that will return. Maybe I know I want only a Watts drain versus a Blucher or Orion. And then from here, you can start actually clicking through and seeing the floor drain that you want. What you'll notice is that you can actually configure every single drain or any product on the website. If you are really accustomed to reading the engineering sheets that are on the Watts website, just click on View Spec Sheet. And you'll get that same engineering sheet that you're used to seeing from the Watts website. And the same options that you would typically configure your drain on the spec sheet, you can do in the software as well. So I'm going to go ahead and configure this floor drain. strainer. And I don't need any of these specific options. So we'll notice my model number for my floor drain has changed. And this blue button at the bottom has popped up blue saying add to drawing, which means that it's ready to be configured. Before I finalize my configuration, I'm going to remember to label the selection that I've just made. So I'm going to call it FD-1. Just loading. And now I'll go ahead and click add to drawing. If for this renovation project I needed anything else, I would go ahead and click add next drawing. But because this is a quick and simple renovation job, I'm just going to go ahead and click complete. From here, I can see that drain that I can configure. If for whatever reason, all I needed is the Revit file, I can go ahead and click on the word Revit, and you'll see the RFA file for this drain is has already downloaded onto my computer, or I can click the download button and choose from 6 different download formats. Sorry, 8. And that can be a submittal, which is very similar to the Watts engineering sheet, maybe a pretty brochure, a plumbing fit or a drain schedule. So go ahead and click on schedule, click continue, and the system is going to load my schedule in Excel, customized to the product selection that I've just made. So you'll see it's checkmarked that it's ready to go. I'm going to click download. And now I have an Excel file of a drain schedule that I can go ahead and just copy and paste into my CAD files or whatever my final construction documents are going to be. So there you go, my FD-1, Watts drain, the description for that drain that I just selected. I'm going to go ahead and create now a full project, and I'll show you some of the other download formats there. So I'm going to click back on my actual project, renovation project, and I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And now, if I remember, most of you said you were working on a healthcare project. And when it's a new construction and new design, you're going to actually want to click on Start New Project. And here, the system is going to ask you a little bit of information about the project that you're working on. I'm going to give Greg his own hospital here. The country where the project is located. I'm going to go ahead and select United States. I'm going to choose the state that it's in, and then the city. And the reason that when it's a new construction project, we're asking for these details is the system actually has some building code kind of embedded into your product selection. So based off of where your project is located, SpecHUB is going to give you recommendations on products based off of either the county code or the city code, building code that is. Bid date or the anticipated construction date. I'm just going to put this in the future. And then the estimated size of the hospital. This is going to be a little small. Next here, I'm actually going to choose a healthcare facility and then select from the different potential healthcare facilities. I'll choose a hospital and then choose next. And the last piece is, who do you want to share this project with? If you have multiple people within your organization that are going to use SpecHUB, you might want to collaborate together. Maybe someone is working on the drain selection and someone else is going to be sizing your equipment, and you want to be able to work on the same project at the same time. Here you can give individuals access to the project and kind of control what level of access they have to it. So I'm going to click finish. Now I'm done. And then the same way that we selected that floor drain, now we're going to go ahead and do it for, I believe it was a backflow we were looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and backflow is easy because it's right as soon as you load it. So I'm going to click on backflow. And I'm going to use the same idea of those filters on the left-hand side to really pare down and find the right backflow that works for me. If you are a Watts backflow fanatic and you know the model number at the top of your head, you can actually type that model number in. But I am going to go ahead and use my filters. So I believe it was a reduced pressure assembly. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's lead free because it's a requirement for my building. And I want this as soon as it comes into the building. So I'm going to choose a big guy. I'm going to go with maybe 8 inches. And there we went from about 100 different backflows to 7. So it's a lot easier to go through all the different offerings. And again, I know I want a 957, or I think I do. I can go ahead, I can read the description of the product here, or again, I can go ahead and open up that spec sheet. And you'll notice because I'd already selected 8-inch, it's already selected for me. I can configure this backflow. Add the Century Plus, and then go ahead, add to drawing. From here, I can go ahead and add the next product. So add next drawing. And in this case, I know I have a really good idea of what I'm looking for. I want a mixing valve, but I want specifically the digital mixing valve from Watts. So I'm going to look for the IntelliStation. And in my quick search, I'm going to search for, click the word series, and I'm going to start to type in IntelliStation. So you'll see right there, the powers IntelliStation digital water tempering and recirculating system. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it'll take me directly to the page where I can configure my mixing valve. I'm going to choose it with a pump assembly. I know my flow and BTU package. Actually, no, I don't know it. I'll choose my pipe size, 2 inches. I would like strainers on the inlet. And I'm going to read it here. 191 GPM. All right, I'll go with that. And then same thing, I'm going to go ahead. You'll see I've configured it. My add to drawing has now turned blue. I can add it, and then you would keep going. Add next drawing. In this instance, I'm going to go ahead and click complete. And one of the things that I forgot to do was tag the products that I'd selected. So on this screen, it is easy for me to just click on label and label this BFP-1, and I'm going to label this TMV-1. And if I have any specific notes on the project that I want to show up on my final documentation, I can type them here. And if this were it, you could download. If, again, you get to this page and you said, you know what, I need to add something else, just by clicking on the plus sign and click add new drawing, you can go back to that product page and select your next product and configure it the same way I've been doing. But I'm going to go ahead and now download this project and show some of the different formats now. So I showed you the schedule before. Right now I'll show you the manufacturer spec sheets. So if you're used to going to the Watts website and downloading all of the engineering sheets from the Watts website, this is actually going to package it nice together for me in a PDF. It'll take a couple of seconds here to put everything together. But then when it's ready, it'll say ready to download or retry. This is a perfect example of what happens in real life. If this doesn't work for me, I'll show you our chat feature where someone can try and help me figure out why I can't download this. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to say, hi, I am having trouble downloading my while we wait for, while we wait for that to happen, I'll go back to my page and I'll go ahead and download another format. Long specification. So if you're working on your 3-part spec and you need some of the written documentation for your specification, you can go ahead and click on long spec or your CSI master. There we go, this downloaded, and what I'll get is a Word document with a description of the products that I've just configured. Just opening up on my other screen here. There you go. Greg's Hospital, where is it located? And then I can just copy and paste this into my written specification for my construction documents, or I can go back and again here I can go ahead and download all of my Revit files, which will download as a zipped folder with all of them combined. Download. There you go. And then I'll show your schedule one more time, because now, if you remember, in the last one I selected a drain, so I got a drain schedule. Now, because I've added a mixing valve and a backflow, I'll actually get a backflow schedule and a plumbing fixture schedule with the mixing valve in there. So backflow schedule, and then there's all my details, plumbing schedule, and then there's my mixing valve. Okay, so that is kind of in a nutshell how you can use SpecHUB, find products that you need for your project, go ahead and configure them, and download the documents that make the most sense for the current stage of development that you're in for your given project, whether it's new construction or renovation. If you do get stuck, you'll see I've gotten somebody to help me while I'm through this process. Kristen here has taken a look at my issue.
Good response time.
Pardon?
Good response time.
And she'll help you navigate through the issues.
That was not set up.
Actually, she doesn't know I'm doing this today. I might have forgotten to tell her. But that's kind of in a nutshell how you use the tool. On the Watts website, there are video tutorials that will take you through the creation of a project, the selecting of a product, as well as how to download. Right. Stop sharing for a second. I guess, Greg, we can open up the lines if anybody has any questions.
Sure. Yeah, we can. We do have one chat question that just came through here. 3-part question. Are performance specs available? Are the Canadian models included, and are the specs available in French?
As of right now, the tool is only available in English, but we do expect a French version to be available over the next, I believe, 3 months.
Very good. Yeah, we can open up the phone lines now. If anyone has any questions, you can verbally shout them out here. Just give me a second to pull up the attendee list.
Their name, PMS Marlin.
So looks like there will be a lot of background noise. If you can just mute your line, and then we can see if anyone has a question here. It's like there might be too much background noise to do this right now, but we did have another chat question coming through. I've got a couple questions. Is it possible to carry the same items over from job to job?
So, Rich, I'm assuming what you're thinking is, can I create, let's say, this hospital job, and I want to go ahead and copy it to, instead of Greg's hospital, into Rebecca's hospital? Yes, you can, just by clicking on Managing Projects. You'll get a list of your projects, and you'll see the option. It's grayed out right now, but you will have the feature to copy a project over and copy those same selections. So it's a feature that we're currently working on, and it'll be available shortly.
Next question here. Is this a recommended tool for the sales reps as well to assist engineers search for product? Yes, our sales reps are trained on the tool, so they'll be able to help you. Rebecca, if you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, from a short-term standpoint, the rep would be able to build a project and provide that same documentation to the engineer. Long-term, again, within the next few months, you'll actually be able to share, a rep would be able to share the project that they've created with the engineer. So then the engineer could take that information and include it in whatever project that they're working on their own physical account. So the engineer would be able to take those recommendations and either add to it or make any edits based off of what stage that project is in, or the additional information that they have for the design of the building.
Very good. Those are all the chat questions right now. I'll try opening up the phone lines one more time. If you don't have a question, please put yourself on mute. Hopefully we won't have too much background noise, but if you do have a question, feel free to.
It's going to be 1,500. I don't remember.
Is that old?
That's just going to be too much. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you can just submit them in the chat or Q&A here. If you missed the polls, just if you want to provide any sort of products that you're specifying, any type of new construction or renovation project that you're working on, you just put them through in the chat, and Rebecca can walk through another example. Give you guys a few seconds here.
And I would say, if you do have any other questions, you can of course reach out to your local rep. You can use that live chat function and actually schedule some one-on-one training with one of our customer success agents, and we can give you that kind of personalized training and help you walk through creating a project on SpecHUB.
One question that came through: is there any way to use non-Watts products in SpecHUB? No, there is not.
Unless you're thinking of a Powers or one of the other, not specifically the Watts brand, but something in the Watts family. No, that's correct.
Right, all the Watts brands are in there. Yeah, Powers, Febco, Mueller. Those are the only other questions, Rebecca. If you want to, well, we got another one here. Oh, maybe not. If you want to pull up the PowerPoint again. Here's a good question. Is there a manufacturer cross-reference?
There is not at this moment in time. But stay tuned for some new features coming up in the next quarter.
Yeah, so we'll be rolling out new features of SpecHUB, as the year goes on, and we develop a tool. We collect feedback from you guys and our reps to see what's working, what's not, and things that are needed, things that can be improved on. So we're always looking for feedback. Like Rebecca was saying, you can email us anytime if you have any questions on the tool, any suggestions, comments, concerns. We had another question come in here. Are state and local codes updated frequently?
So we're actually looking at how we can give better visibility to the codes that are in the tool, not just how the tool is kind of limiting your recommendations based off of state codes, but so you can actually read them. So for right now, those would only be available on the release notes that'll be coming soon from Watts. But I would say this tool has all of the national building codes, everything for the Canadian market, and about half of the states in the US. And they're all up to the 2019 building code in the US and 2020 building code changes in Canada.
Fabulous tool. Great comment.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be it for the questions. So again, you can email us with anything, any questions, concerns, ideas for improvements on the tool. And Rebecca, if you can just go to the last slide here, just to close out, and a reminder of the giveaway here. Once this webinar ends, you'll be guided to the SpecHUB sign-up page where you can register for the tool, get signed up, and you're good to go with the giveaway. You guys have already attended the webinar, so check that off. You just need to sign up for the tool and start creating a project or spec within the next week, and you'll qualify for a prize, and we'll send you a follow-up email so you can choose that prize from our list in the Wattsworks store. So Rebecca, thank you very much for walking us through those samples today, and thank you guys for joining. Hopefully this has been very beneficial to you. Just to let you know, a recording of this presentation will be emailed to you as well. If you have any further questions, shoot them to me or Rebecca through our emails. And once again, we hope that the timing of the webinar makes sense to give you the opportunity to experiment with SpecHUB, during any quarantine and as construction projects are getting going again. So hopefully it just makes your whole specification process easier. So that's it. Good luck, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye, Greg, and bye, everybody on the call.